Good morning and g'day, mate, and welcome back to Dyson Sphere. Welcome to Dyson Sphere for all you new viewers out there. Welcome to Dyson Sphere with me, Jetty, and of course we have the masterful Mr. Icarus with us today. And today we're talking about blueprints. So, do me a favor, if you like blueprints, you like the thought of blueprints, you like official blueprints in the game, do me a favor, click the like button, make sure this video is shared out by the YouTube algorithm with as many Dyson Sphere players as possible, because I know a lot of people have just hung up their interplanetary towel, just waiting for this update to pop out. So, blueprints are here. Blueprints have added a whole new thing to existing games along with brand new games, but if you don't have blueprints yet, first thing you have to do is you have to look in the tech tree, because it turns out we need to research blueprints. Icarus is a bit of a dumb robot. He needs to actually do the research to remember how to use blueprints. So, blueprints start off with mass construction level 1. Mass construction level 1, it's going to be very, very early in your game. You only need 100 circuit boards to get yourself up and running. That'll give you access to the blueprint library, and you can blueprint up to 60 facilities at once. Now, when it says 60 facilities, it's not talking about 60 assemblers, it's talking about 60 items outright. It's not going to get you a lot, but it's going to get you started. Obviously, the devs have really intended that blueprints are going to be part of the game. They really want you to learn blueprints early, so it's in the game from the very, very early stages. Then we head on to mass construction level 2. Brings the blueprint up, a limit up to 150 items. Same time, just requires the electromagnetic matrix, very, very early science. Only 300 of those. Then we take the limit up to 600. 600 is a decent sized blueprint. You can start getting some bigger construction tasks done. Don't forget, early game, the robots are very, very slow, so 600 items is probably going to take Icarus's drones a little while to get built. But again, it's just blue and red science. And then we're going to move up to number 4. Number 4 requires yellow science. It's going to bring the limit up to 3,000 facilities. That's a lot. That's a lot. Finally, we have mass construction at level 5. This is for that late game period where you might want to blueprint a whole planet. You know, the option's there. You can just go and arrive on a brand new planet. Yeah, say, look, I really want another smelting planet. Just blueprint the whole thing. So that is the research. After we have the research unlocked, next thing we need to do is we need to access the blueprint interface. To access the blueprint interface, we hold down Control, we press a C, and we get this interface. Now, this interface is it's a map view. It's a map view where I can zoom out and I can see the whole planet. As you can see, there's no nighttime, daytime on the planet. It's all white at the same time, which is good because it means you can land anywhere on the planet, blueprint whatever you want to see. At the same time, to actually get a blueprint up and running, you need to hold down left click and drag an area. Well, that's not entirely true. You can drag an area, or you can individually click items if you don't have enough RSI yet. But, you know, I'm done with my RSI. I'm going to, you know, left click, select, left click again to end my selection. As you can see, that is 87 items right there. That is not a level 1 blueprint. That's a level 2 blueprint at least, or tech level 2 blueprint. And as you can see, this is a very small build doing microcrystalline components into processes. It's not a big build, but it still required 87 items. Actually, one thing I wouldn't mind is I wouldn't mind a power pole right there in the middle of my blueprint. Excellent. Okay, so once we select things, we have a couple of options. We can name our blueprint. So if you want to save your blueprint, you can put in a name for the blueprint. You can give it an actual description inside the game. So these are two separate things. This is what the blueprint will be called on your hard drive. This is what the blueprint will be called in-game. This is the description. I really recommend, if you're going to make blueprints, you're going to share them with your friends, please write a description. Like be detailed, you know. Say it's, you know, 10 assemblers, it does 3 processes per second fed by Bluebelt. Whatever it happens to be descriptive, okay? At the same time, you can copy the blueprint code and then you can paste that to a friend. But we will get back to that in a second. After we have our selection, we can then choose where we want to put our selection. So with Control V, I can take my blueprint and we're going to put this intentionally down here. And if I hold down Shift and I drag, I can then paste down multiple copies of the blueprint end to end to end, okay? Which you might say sounds like a great idea, except you'll notice straight away that my belts don't actually connect with one another. It is a limitation of the early blueprint system that you can't have things auto-connect. There is a workaround. We're going to cover that right away. If I go Control V again to paste down the last thing I just had, and I overlap the belts by one tile, and then paste, you'll see that the belts will auto-connect with one another. It means I can't click and drag, but I can paste them, you know, one at a time. For the hassle of having the belts auto-connect, I think I'm going to be pasting them one at a time. It's just going to make my life a little bit easier. At the same time, as you can see, because I put that power pole in the middle, everything is powered up. Now, I'm not sure. Let's just check. I know I can place these guys close to one another. Well, there you go. There you go. Okay, so again, taking our blueprint, if we slide this up the planet, you'll notice that the blueprint gets squeezed together. So it keeps working. At the same time, if I drag it down the planet towards the equator, you know, when we have the maximum space in between our buildings, I can place that down there without... Oh, need foundation support. Well, I found the one bit of river. The one bit of lake on a desert planet. So I can place this here and it's going to work perfectly. So the game does do a lot of adjustments on the blueprints on the fly. At the same time, if we were to bring back up that interface, and let's say I copied all of this, except I wanted to change a couple of things. Like I didn't want to have these assemblers anymore. I want a slightly different build. I can hold down right click and use my WASD to drag my way around the world and deselect those things. So as you can see, everything here is bright blue, those that are selected, and these particular machines are unselected. At the same time, say I didn't want that belt, I can draw a box and deselect that area, or I can just individually deselect things. So there is an option to edit blueprints sort of on the fly, just during creation. Once they're created, you can't go back and re-edit them. I'm really hoping the devs add some sort of way that we can edit blueprints after they've been made, rather than having to take a blueprint, pop it down, you know, re-blueprint it, edit it on the fly, and then you know, save a new copy. Just one of those small tweaks. By the same token, I can probably see the community getting together and making some sort of web interface where you can drop in your blueprints and edit them that way. So, yes, we can right-click to select things. We can left-click to reselect things. At the same time, we can right-click and drag to deselect whole areas. So if I just want the start and the end of the blueprint, I can deselect everything in the middle. So there is a lot of options already in the game. Now, a couple of other things I do want to cover. Let's just simplify this down to our basic little blueprint we had to start with without that place. So if I want to paste this down, there are a couple of limitations to blueprints currently. Currently, you cannot place them over, placing the whole blueprint over a what I refer to as a grid shift line. So these are these tropic lines. This is where the grids of the planet do not line up. Okay, cannot place them over there. Whether it be individual assemblers, whether it be belts, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. All depends on how the blueprint feels at the time. Same if I rotate it, the game just says absolutely no. If we bring back up that interface and let's try something more simple, like a couple of wind turbines, if I paste those, even though they don't actually get built over the grid shift lines, the game just says no outright. At the same time, this is going to be very, very critically important in the future. You need to make sure that you pay attention to the rotation you're building. So as we can see from wind turbines, yes, I can rotate the blueprint around. So we're going to, let's head over there so we stop jumping back and forth. Okay, we're going to hold down Control C. I'm going to copy, let's just do two of them, okay? I'm going to do two of them. I can paste that there without a problem, okay? Game accepts it. If I rotate that around 180 degrees, you can see obviously the first one doesn't line up because of rotation. If I paste that there, it's going to say collides. Bad luck, can't do it, JD, okay? At the same time, if I take, let's actually remove, sure, let's remove U3, okay. If I take 3 solar panels, I Control V to paste them down, I rotate them around and I overlap that one by one. You can see it still says no, thank you, JD. You can't do that. Same as if I rotated it down and placed it down the planet. No. Up the planet. Oh, it's a tropic line. Okay, so I can place it down. No, it says no. Every single building, okay, the rotation matters. So again, if I took Let's do 1, 2. Can I space them out, please, so they match? There we go. 3 of these guys, and then I blueprint. Let's do that whole blueprint. Like so. Paste. I can paste that over the top. Some overlapping is allowed. If I take that, rotate around twice, and then place again, fix the spacing. So we rotate them around, pop that back down, put a paste over the top, and click. Game says no. Okay, so rotation very, very, very much matters. Square buildings or not, every building has a face, a way it's facing. As you can see, you know, the assemblers, they have this little thing on the top. It faces one direction. You need to pay attention to that. Same is going to apply to even the interplanetary towers, which, as far as I can tell, the model is the same in every direction. If I paste that there, game accepts it. If I paste that there, game accepts it. If I paste that there, game accepts it. And as you can see, I have one output selected with iron ore. That also pastes around. But if I try and check this side, the filters, they all say no iron ore. It's only the one port that was pre-selected has the iron ore still selected. So again, if I try and copy 2 of them and paste, and I rotate that twice, so it should place right over the top. It doesn't. It says it collides. So, something you definitely have to keep in mind. Rotation is really going to matter. Okay, so then we have this interface. This interface here is our blueprint library. Our blueprint library has many, many interesting things that I'm guessing as time expands, people are going to have more detailed blueprints and blueprint libraries that they're going to have to work through. So, we're going to start off with, you know, my new blueprint, which was blank, actually. Okay, so we're going to start with a couple of things. So first off, we can get a blueprint book. So a blueprint book is a folder, basically. Actually, let's start with Show and Explorer. So when you make a blueprint, so let's just make a blueprint. Let's call it that. Let's hit. Let's call this as Awesome Solar. Okay, thumbnail text, Mark 3 version of Solar, because, turns out there's a few problems. Okay, game's not quite stable. Give me a sec. As I was saying, be descriptive with your solar, with your naming, but probably avoid using the button Z in your in your blueprints. So we're going to call this Awesome Blueprint Mark 3. We're also going to give the thumbnail text the exact same. Blueprint, we're going to give it a solar panel. That seems about right. Now, icon layout, there are a couple of choices. We could have a 1-for-1 icon, a 1-for-2 icon, so it's just a little bit smaller, a 2-for-1, so we can have, you know, 2 smaller icons and, you know, pick something else for the other icon, all the way up to 3 different icons, 3-for-3, so just different layouts that we can use. We're going to save that blueprint, and as you see, I now have an awesome blueprint Mark III. So we have, as said, in the blueprint interface, the blueprint library, we have a Show in Explorer button. So when I click Show in Explorer, it's gonna open Windows Explorer and show you the folder of which your blueprints are kept, which currently default to My Documents, Dyson Sphere Program, well, blueprints. So you can share those blueprints around. They're all stored as a text document, so you can open them up. You can read through them if you happen to read computer language. I don't. At the same time, you can share those individual text documents with your friends. The other thing you can do, if actually we want to bring that back up, if I have a brand new blueprint, that's the one. If I put in a string that I've shared, you know, with myself, I can bring in a brand new blueprint. Okay, this brand new blueprint is a smelter setup. I'm going to be sharing on my Discord server. You actually find a couple of upcoming videos about different blueprints I want to share with you guys. So I'm going to start with the smelter one because it's a smelter. Everybody knows what a smelter looks like. It helps if I had an icon in there. Let's make you look like a smelter. That would probably help. Save changes. And if I use this blueprint, so we're going to double click on it to use that blueprint, and I drag it to some part of the planet where it actually places, like down here, we can see I can drop this blueprint down, and if we go have a look at it very, very quickly, you can notice that it has some uniqueness to the actual way the blueprints work. So as you can see, we have all these green icons. Green icons we're very, very familiar with. Green icons means they're things that are, you know, due to be placed. Bots have to fly out there. We also have a whole bunch of white icons. The white icons are things that they don't actually exist, okay? They're not in Icarus's inventory. They can't be pre-allocated. They're things you're basically short of. So if we fly over there very, very quickly, we can see that Icarus's drones are going to fly out. They're going to start building everything, except for the items they don't already have. So we're going to run short when it comes to all these smelters. At the same time, if I bring back up that blueprint and paste another one there, and that collides. Yes, my power poles collide. It's a fault in the blueprint. It's a fault with I can't have things overlap. Can I put you there? You collide as well. Oh no, you don't collide. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, after I placed down the first one, the second one I placed down again, it's missing even more smelters, okay? And now I'm actually down to the point where I'm actually missing sorters. So we can see the sorters are going in with just the white symbols because the sorters are also missing. But, you know, it means that all I need to do is make sure Icarus gets a whole bunch of smelters into his inventory. That one, please. Remote demand. And then once smelters start showing up, as long as I, you know, as soon as I pick them up, they're going to get allocated to this particular build. At the same time, actually, it's probably a better example. If I grab 500 sorters, they're not in my inventory at the moment, they're in my hand. As soon as I put them down, we're going to see that they start getting allocated out to all the sorters that are missing in this particular blueprint. So, blueprinting, very, very handy, very, very, very much going to let people expand much faster than they ever could before. But there are some limitations with the system. I can't actually build this blueprint here in the middle because, well, this all is in the way, and my power poles on both sides actually overlap, which is a bit of a problem. Has those smelters arrived yet? Yes, they have. Let's just pick up all 1,000, drop them there, and as you can see, they're getting allocated out. And then if we look at the other build, we can see they're going to get allocated out as far as my bots can reach, which should be about here. And they're not going to get allocated any further out until Icarus actually gets within construction range, at which point they should get allocated out as the bots get there. There we go. See? So we can now definitely expand a lot faster. At the same time, you might notice that this has actually brought in all my settings. So it's brought in my settings from my original smelter. So we're bringing in iron ore. At the same time, we're using maximum charge rate, and maximum load for drones, maximum load for vessels, and because it's own itty bitty little power grid, it's going to attempt to charge up that tower at a very, very slow rate. Yes. But it's a start. It's a start. I do love blueprints. They're going to really, really change things and really, really improve the game. As I said, I will be doing videos for the next couple of days sharing a lot of my blueprints. So if you're interested in grabbing some of those blueprints, I definitely recommend, if you haven't already clicked the subscribe button, you do so right about now. At the same time, a lot of blueprints will be shared by me and my community over on my Discord server. Link is on your screen right now, along with down the description. Come join us on Discord. Come say hello. Come share some of your blueprints. I'm really, really interested in what the community can actually build now that we have this functionality inside the game. So, with all that said, that's where I'm going to leave. Oh, no, actually, there's one more thing I wanted to add, and we're going to bring back up the blueprint interface. And I'm going to intentionally pick those 4 assemblers. And I want to paste them here. Okay, so there's one other thing we want to talk about, and that is the funny yellow line, okay? Dyson Sphere, it's a round globe, okay? I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with that by now. It's a round globe. So, it means there are going to be some things with blueprints. So, for the perfect example would be these solar panels. If I start selecting here and I select all the way around, I can actually select a whole ring of solar panels and paste them down, and I can drag them up and down the planet. Now, as I drag them up and down the planet, I don't get more solar panels added to my ring. I just get the ring shrinks and expands to the maximum 100 solar panels, because that's how many's in the blueprint. And at the same time, if I was to select this little blueprint of just 4 assemblers and paste it down, you will notice that I have a yellow line over here. The yellow line is the middle point of my blueprint. So for whatever reason, the first entity I chose was not directly in the middle. So if I select from there and to there and then hit paste, I'm still not holding it by the middle entity. Okay, let's select you and then that and then all that and then paste. Still not selecting it by the middle, so I'm still going to find, I know I am selecting it by the middle. So this yellow line, this is the point where the blueprint sort of wraps around upon itself. This is the direct polar opposite of your original blueprint. I'm not sure how much that's going to matter with blueprints that aren't going all the way around the circumference of the planet. I do know when it came to my my North Pole hub, or South Pole hub technically, that little line was important with where I placed my blueprint. But yes, this is how I get deliveries onto every single planet that I go out and visit. We can get deliveries brought in very quickly, very automatically. And again, this will be a blueprint that I will be sharing. Come on, double click. No. There we go. Have blueprint. So yes, that particular line was very important for me to work out exactly where the blueprint goes. It's going to be rotated. There we go. There we go. And I need that yellow line to line things up. Yeah, blueprinting around a pole is going to be awkward at the best of times, but that's the blueprint right there. And then if we fly to the other pole, it should work. It should work. We can see it's right there, and in theory it should all be lined up. Build mode, yeah, it looks like it's all lined up. Anyway, with that said, this is definitely what I'm going to call this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and click that like button, and hopefully I'll see you over on my Discord server where we'll share some blueprints with one another. Anyway, that's it. Calling it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the very next video. Alright, bye.